Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Someone wrote in and wanted to know why so many good people seem to have so many difficulties in life. They suffer so much, and other people, the bad people, seem to just breeze through life. And I really don't know why some very good people seem to have so many crosses in life. But I am a firm believer that many people who have great difficulties in life, I believe that the physically and mentally handicapped are great teachers, and I believe they chose this body this time to be born into, understanding that many would learn from their own suffering. And you've heard me say before that, we don't learn anything in life through the good things that we go through. We learn our lessons in life by what we go through, the greatest lessons in life by our own suffering or the suffering of someone else. So, that's a difficult question to answer, why some people seem to suffer so much. Some people just seem to have a lot of hard luck. But again, it goes back to sometimes we make the wrong decisions. Life is about choices and our own decisions. So maybe people made the wrong decisions. Why does a person can live to be 80 years old and be relatively healthy, where another person will die, from a lung cancer or whatever. But again, if they smoked, cigarettes, or they were heavy drinkers, or they ate the wrong foods, I mean, a lot of what happens in our life as far as our own physical caring for our own body can be because of poor choices, things that we, ingested into our body that weren't so good for us. As far as trials and tribulations that come, it's just life. I really don't have an answer to say why people seem to suffer or have more heartaches than others. It could be, like I said, because, they saw their life what it would be, and they understood that through their own suffering that many would learn from them. When you see a handicapped child, it makes you appreciate a healthy child all the more. I've seen this example myself by my husband and I went on a cruise one time, and there was a couple there with two children. The older girl was about 14, 15 years old, and the younger child was about 5. They were both girls, and the older child was severely handicapped and couldn't even hold her head up. They had a high back wheelchair for her, and her head was actually strapped to it. And when they, came into the dining room, everybody would watch them. And the little girl was the one who would actually help feed her sister, and the parents seemed very happy, and they were on a cruise and enjoying their time. And I said to my husband, look around this room, all eyes were on that couple and on that table, just watching. And you could actually see parents, hug their kids a little tighter. One father picked up his little girl and put her on his lap, almost like, an appreciation to God that they had healthy children. So I think, everything we go through life, there's a reason. I think people's paths cross our paths at a time that we need them to. I know that's happened for me all throughout my life. Just when I think that I'm going through something, or, I'm carrying a heavy burden, God sends someone into my life who has it much worse than I do. And it kind of snaps me back to reality to understand that, it's just life. My husband and I used to run retreats, and my husband always did the talk and used the example that if we sat in a room with 100 people and everybody was asked to throw their largest cross into the center of the room, their biggest burden, that we would probably take back our own, because once we see what other people suffer and have, the crosses they have, ours doesn't seem quite as bad. So, it's a tough question, and I really don't have an affirmative answer to give you, other than I am a firm believer that things happen for a reason. I think a lot of the things that happen to people are by their own choices, maybe not good choices. Or maybe it's just life and things that, we chose before we came here. Okay. But one thing I do know, that I have a real problem when I hear people say God never gives us more than we can handle. I don't believe that God gives anything negative to us. I think everything is about free will, or the choices that we made before we came here, or the bad choices that we made when we're here. I think what God helps us do is carry the crosses, and gives us the strength to get through it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And as always, I leave you in God's love and light.